Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Monica Rivera, and I am the Stakeholder Organizational Change Management Chief for the Veterans Benefit Administration with the Department of Veterans Affairs. It is Military Consumer Month, and today we will be talking about scams and other consumer protection issues affecting veterans, service members, and military families. Here with me is Terri Miller, a consumer education specialist with the Federal Trade Commission's Division of Consumer and Business Education. Welcome, Terri.
Hi, Monica. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Terri, let's start this conversation. Let's talk about imposter scams. According to the FTC 2023 data book, imposters are the most frequently reported scams to the FTC. What are imposter scams and how do they work?
Well, Monica, imposters are really people who pretend to be a person or a company that you might know. And you're right, imposters continue to be the top of the list of scams reported to the FTC. So we know that these scammers are really good at what they do. They tell different stories, and the whole point is to steal your money or your personal information. Imposter scammers can be people who are pretending to be from your bank's fraud department or the government or a relative in distress or a well-known business. And sometimes they even pretend to be tech support trying to help you with your computer.
Terri, how prevalent are these scams for veterans and military communities?
Excellent question. So last year, military consumers reported losing over $178 million to imposters. So unfortunately, that means we know that imposter scams are really happening.
That is a very significant amount of money lost. Now, let's say someone contacts me and I am not sure how to respond. What are some of the things that I should know to avoid an imposter scam?
That's a really great question. And it can be hard to think of what to do on the spot. So here are three things to remember. So the first one is that scammers contact you out of the blue unexpectedly, and they ask you for money or personal information. So that might look like them reaching out to you by phone or email or text message or even messaging you on social media. So the important thing is there to not click on any links in unexpected emails or text messages, and especially not giving information to someone who calls you or contacts you on social media. Legitimate businesses and government agencies won't do that. The second thing is to slow down and check out what you're hearing. Scammers really want to pressure you to act quickly. That way you don't have time to think about what they've said or to check out their story. So the important thing is to slow down, to do some research if you can, and especially it helps when you can talk to someone that you trust before you do anything else. And the last thing is really to never pay anyone who wants you to pay them in certain ways. So scammers are asking people to pay in ways that make it really hard to get their money back. So that might look like paying with a gift card or sending money through a wire transfer company like Western Union. Or sending cryptocurrency or using a payment app or even cash. So the thing we say there is that nobody legit will ever ask you or demand that you pay them in those ways, but we know that scammers will.
Thank you, Terri. So now let's talk about business imposters for a moment. What's involved in a business imposter scam?
Yeah, business impersonators start in a lot of different ways. So, for example, you might get a pop-up message that looks like it's from Microsoft, and they're saying that there's a problem with your computer and there's a number that you need to call immediately. Or it may be an email that looks like it's from Amazon or FedEx, and maybe they say that there's an issue with your account or that your account has been suspended until you pay. The messages really aren't from those businesses. They're actually from scammers. And if you call that number that they've given you, they'll tell you to send them payments or to give them personal information to solve the problem. They also, again, will ask you for things like paying with a gift card or cryptocurrency or to wire them money. But the important thing to know there is that no honest business will do that. Again, no honest business is going to ask for information like your social security number or try to get access to your computer as well.
Are there any specific new business imposter scams you're seeing that might affect veterans and military communities?
Yeah, people are losing big money to scammers who are running really complicated scams. These scams usually involve someone who's claiming that there's fraud or criminal activity on one of your accounts. They usually will say that they're from a military bank or a company like USAA or Navy Federal. And what they're offering is to help you to protect your money. They want you to do things like share verification codes or sometimes even passwords. But what they'll always try to tell you to do in this scam is to move your money from your bank or from your investment account or from even your retirement account to protect it. But the advice there is don't do it. Every bit of this story is a scam. There's a lot of different versions of it, but this is just one example.
That's great advice. Can we talk about investment scams for a moment? What are they, and what do veterans and their families need to know?
Last year, military consumers reported a median loss of $7,000 to investment scams, Monica. So it's good that we're talking about this today. Investment scams start with a promise that you can make a lot of money really quickly with little or no risk. You might hear about these scams through someone who reaches out to you unexpectedly on social media or through a text message. But the main advice is this: if someone promises you big money or guarantees profits, you know they're lying and it's a scam. Any investment comes with risk, and no one can guarantee returns with that. If someone says that they can teach you a secret method to investing, or they say that they have a proven system to make money, that's also a scam. And if someone pressures you and says that you need to act quickly, or you're going to miss out on an investment opportunity, or they really want to discourage you from taking time to do the research, that's also a sign for you to know that it's a scam.
Terry, let's switch gears and let's talk about government imposters. How do scammers impersonate the government?
Yeah, scammers want to gain your trust. And so unfortunately, the way they do that is they pretend to work for a government agency like the FTC or the Social Security Administration or even the VA. So they may even use real names of government employees, but the stories they tell are actually a bunch of lies. So, for example, a scammer might reach out to you and say that they're from the Social Security Administration. They'll say that your name and your social security number are linked to serious crimes like money laundering or drug trafficking. They'll say there's a warrant out for your arrest, and the courts want to seize your money from your banks or your retirement accounts. Of course, this is a lie. There is no warrant out for your arrest. It's just a scammer who's looking to get you to give them money. Sometimes they'll say things like, you need to buy gold or withdraw cash for them. We've even seen where a caller will tell someone that they're going to pick up gold or cash at their house. So if that happens to you, our advice is to call the police. But really, here's what to know: the government is never going to call and demand you money. And they won't threaten you with arrest. They won't promise you a prize, but anyone who does any of this is a scammer. Now, Monica, we know that, impersonators also impersonate the VA as well. So what do those scams look like on your side?
Yes, we are also seeing scams impacting the veteran community. We know about a specific fraud scheme, and it's called pension poaching. And Terry, this is directly aligned with the information you were sharing on investment scams. So, pension poaching is a financial scam targeting veterans and survivors who are potentially eligible for VA benefits. An unethical advisor profits by assisting the veteran and falsely qualifying them for VA benefits. The scheme often involves financial maneuvers, such as advising veterans to hide their assets. This financial exploitation can backfire and disqualify veterans from receiving benefits. And something I want to emphasize is that pension poaching scams could also involve a caregiver. For example, a caregiver could require the veteran or the survivor to have their benefits deposited into the caregiver's bank account. VA benefits should go directly to the beneficiary, whether that is the veteran, a survivor, or a legally appointed representative, not the caregiver. And another scam that I want to talk about today is predatory companies or claim predators. Claim predators are bad actors that are trying to unlawfully charge veterans a fee to help them submit their claims with the VA. We want to caution veterans, their loved ones, and all of our stakeholders about these practices. And I want to talk about some of their tactics. First, they might use aggressive communication. Claim predators will use emails, phone calls, text messages, any available communication tool to entice veterans to use their services. They also make dishonest promises. Veterans should not trust anyone who says that they can help them accelerate the claims process and obtain 100% disability evaluation. Only the VA has the authority to determine disability evaluations. They also charge high fees. Claim predators charge ridiculous fees or request veterans to pay them a portion of their VA benefits. We want to let veterans know that they should never pay anyone a fee to file an initial claim. And last but not least, claim predators might require binding contracts. Veterans should never sign a contract agreeing to pay an individual or a company a percentage of their benefits for filing a claim.
Wow, Monica, that's a really elaborate scheme. Are there actions that you recommend that veteran and military communities do to prevent this type of scam?
Yes. First, veterans can file their claims with the VA electronically at www.va.gov, or they can also visit their nearest VA regional office. Something again that I want to emphasize is that the VA offers free assistance to help veterans in filing their claims and managing their benefits. Now, if the veteran wants to work with a representative, we urge them to only use VA accredited representatives to help them file their claims. Also, veterans should take their time to review and consider their options, including not taking any action. Veterans should also discuss the possibilities with a trusted friend or a family member. Read all the documents or forms, never sign any blank forms that might be completed later, and be sure that your benefits are being deposited directly into your account and not the account of an advisor, assisted living facility, or a nursing home. Additionally, if a veteran is missing a VA payment, identifies a discrepancy in their payments, or finds any suspicious activities in their bank account, we want veterans to contact the VA immediately at 1-800-827-1000. And finally, report it to the FTC. If an entity is projecting misinformation or has questionable business practices regarding VA entitlements, veterans and their advocates might report it to the FTC. And speaking about reporting scams to the FTC, Terri, what's the best way to report a scam or a bad business practice to the FTC? And how can people learn more about protecting themselves against fraud and scams?
Yeah, if you or anyone you know spots a scam, definitely report it to the Federal Trade Commission, even if you didn't lose money. So if you just suspect a scam, report it to us in English at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if you prefer to report in Spanish, you can do that at reportefraude.ftc.gov. Once you tell us your story, you'll also get advice on how to recover from this scam and how to protect yourself from it in the future. Now, you don't need to wait until something happens to get in the know about the latest scams. So one of the best ways to protect yourself in advance is to subscribe to get consumer alerts from the FTC. So you can do that at ftc.gov/consumer alerts. Or in Spanish, you can do that at ftc.gov/alertas de consumidor if you prefer to get them in Spanish. You'll get emails either way straight to your inbox with details on scams that we're seeing and how you can avoid them. We also want to encourage you to subscribe to the Military Consumer blog. That way you can learn how to spot and avoid scams that might happen throughout the military life cycle. And you can do that at militaryconsumer.gov/blog.
Terri, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing ways to help veterans and the military communities identify, prevent, and report the latest scams. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.